Right, hey guys, John back here with another anti-guru video, and wow, it has been a while since I last spoke to you guys, but to be fair, a lot has happened. We're back in the office. Look, office, I've moved my desk around, even got the sign back up. Isn't that wonderful? Now, I'm going to be talking about the next big permitted development right, Class MA, Mike Alpha, and the starting gun for MA is fired on the 1st of August 2021. I'm going to be going through all of my understandings on MA in detail in the next 10 minutes or so. So let's roll the credits and I'll catch you after the trailer. Okay then, Class MA, what on earth is going on? Well, let me put it this way to you. On the 1st of April, yes, the government really released this on April Fool's Day. The government gave us our look at what Class MA is going to be. And ever since then, we've been looking at it, reading it, trying to understand it, trying to get our heads around how this is going to work. Now, there are a number of differences between MA, the new prior approval right that's coming forward very soon, and the old ones that are going out. O, which is definitely going, and M, which is being modified down to include just hot food takeaways and some specified sui generis uses. But I want to go through with you and get you to understand, or help you understand, what you can do with this new prior approval right. So I actually have scripted this. I've got my notes here because it's so damn new. We need to get this right. So what's allowed? Well, from the 1st of August 2021, and only from the 1st of August 2021, you may apply for a change of use of any building or part of a building thereof from, and I'll use the old use classes for now, A1 shop, A2 financial and professional, A3 food and drink, B1, that's A, B and C, business, D1A, which was medical or health services, D1B, which is creche, day nursery or day centre, and D2, E, which is assembly and leisure for indoor or outdoor sport, but only where there is no indoor swimming pool or skating rink. If your building was brought into use after the 1st of September 2020, then you're looking for a Class E use, any of the commercial, business and service uses inside thereof of Class E. Now, this prior approval right is only available to buildings in England and is subject to, as you would imagine, a bucket load of restrictions, which I will go through. If you're in Scotland or Wales or Northern Ireland, I'm terribly sorry. You are once again bang out of luck. It is England leading the way. Now, there are restrictions here, and there's a bucket load of them. So let me go through them. In order to use MA, the building must have been vacant for a continuous period of at least 3 months immediately prior to the date of the application for prior approval. Now, that clause was put in to stop developers gaming the system, to stop developers using MA as a way of evicting retail tenants. It had to have been vacant for at least 3 months prior to the date of that application. Now, there's no testing criteria in that. We don't know how that's going to be tested, but we shall find out, won't we, when the first applications come in. Decision-making behavior, once again, will start to take over. You must be in one of the named classes or a mix of those classes for a continuous period of at least 2 years prior to the date for the application of prior approval. Now, that's a new clause that is different to what we've seen before, and that makes sure that this PD right will never go stale. It'll never expire. You'll be able to hold property for 2 years in your new class. You'll be able to change use into it and then wait the 2-year period for you to be able to then gain access to the prior approval right as an option. You're not allowed to convert more than 1,500 square meters in total, right? That's quite a lot, to be fair. We've lost the unlimited allowance that Class O gave us, and it's been replaced with an intermediate allowance of 1,500 square meters, but across all of those affected classes. So if you've got a doctor's surgery of 1,000 square meters, that can be converted. Your property must not be within a site of special scientific interest. It must not be a listed building or within its curtilage, must not be a scheduled ancient monument or within its curtilage, must not be in a safety hazard area, mustn't be in a military explosive storage area, it mustn't be in an ANOB, it mustn't be in an area for wildlife and countryside protection, it mustn't be in the Norfolk Broads, sorry Norfolk, you're out of luck, it mustn't be in a national park, and it mustn't be on a World Heritage Site. But if it is in a conservation area, and if it is in a town centre, and if it is in one of those named uses, you can most definitely target it. Now, Article 4, really important this. If there is a Class O Article 4 direction in force in your borough, then that will continue to have effect until the 1st of August 2022. Class M, Class PA, they don't get the same protection. It is only Class O that gets that protection. So from the 1st of August, if there's a Class M Article 4 direction, that will naturally fall away for MA development, but Class O Article 4 directions will naturally stay in play. Now, you use this allowance through prior approval, and there are a number of criteria that you have to have your application assessed on. Some of them you'll be familiar with, others not so much. Let's go through them. So the first 3 you should be very familiar with: transport, contamination, and flood risk. But transport's been changed in order to bring particular focus to safe site access, i.e. the idea that you need to be able to get building materials to this site. How are you going to do it? It's not just about the highway safety impact anymore. There's a particular focus across towards safe site access. Impact from noise from commercial premises on intended occupiers is a direct copy from Class O and all of the other classes that have noise in. So that's understandable. If your building's in a conservation area, then the change of use of whole or part of the ground floor and its effect to the character and sustainability of the conservation area is the key criteria. It's not about the loss of the retail or the loss of the office per se. It is about what that does to the character and appearance and the sustainability of that conservation area. Natural light is now a must inside all prior approval. That was inserted last year into everything and carried through under criterion F. Impact from the residential use on business, if you're in an area for heavy industry or waste management or storage and distribution, is there as a carbon copy out of Class PA. What that basically asks is, do not, whatever you do one of these inside an industrial area. That will only spoil the game for everyone else. If you're dealing with the loss of a nursery or a health centre, you must deal with the nature of that loss. So you must be able to demonstrate that there's enough nursery spaces, there's enough health centre provision in the area in order to not have a wider impact. No mention at all about loss of a shop in a retail centre. None. No mention at all about loss of a business use inside a business centre. None. Those have gone. And that is the big thing that moves MA on from Class M, is that there's no longer this discrete test to allow councils to refuse applications based on desirability of retaining it in a shop use after the 1st of August. Now, a couple of things to be really clear on. You are not going to be allowed to change use to C4 after the effect without planning permission. Those PD rights are removed automatically under Class MA. So if you're looking to create HMOs after the effect, then you will need planning permission for that. You can't make one of these applications before the 1st of August. You're on the old system until then, and you must have completed the development within that 3-year time period. Absolutely vital. Finally, there's no more small units allowed. You must comply with the National Space Standard, both sides of it, please. So you must comply with the technical standard and the space standard with a bare minimum of 37 square meters per dwelling, with no exception provided within the order itself. Now, I just wanted to give you guys some thoughts, some ideas as to where this is going to go, right? Class MA was brought in to solve a problem. It was brought in to replace O, to partly replace M, to bring permitted development rights back that had previously been lost, and more importantly, in recognition that the government is currently, and councils are currently sitting on lots and lots of vacant property up and down the land, inside retail centres where they seem unwilling to let that property go. Right. So Class MA is the solution in part to that. I think there are still going to be challenges. So where you've got that conservation area argument, that conservation area requirement, I think that's where the councils are going to push back. They're going to say the loss of the retail use is undesirable inside the conservation area because it impacts the character and appearance of the conservation area. That's where you might decide to keep part of the ground floor in that retail use and choose a suitable companion for your residential development around it. I think that councils are going to interpret Class MA heavily, especially when it comes to external alterations. There's no provision for external alts in MA whatsoever. You cannot do them. You need either a planning permission or you need to use another permitted development right, say in Part 7, which allows for non-domestic additions. I think having a real knowledge of the other rights that you can rely upon is going to become mission critical. Now, of course, it's too early to tell what the effect of MA is going to be. We simply don't know because no applications have been made yet. You can't make an application until that 1st of August start date. But I'm sure 56 days after those applications are heard, we're going to start to see the first appeals go in. And that, my dear friend, is going to give us decision-making behavior. I hope that's been useful. Like, comment, subscribe, please share, because we do these in our way to help support people doing this kind of thing. But please share. Have a great day, and I'll catch you on the next Anti-Guru.